Morning, Statesman Nation. It's Wade Seinlogie, Sports Information Director here at William Penn, and this is the every other week, I guess we have to call it, press conference. We're moving forward here, trying to go every other week, going the rest of the year this way. It seems to work out better for everybody's schedule, but appreciate Sam Parsons from KBOE KMZN joining us. Today, as usual, just go around the horn real quickly and introduce everybody. We have Lauren Eldridge, head women's volleyball coach in the top left corner, Macy Bailey, senior women's volleyball player on the top right, and the bottom left, Kirsten and Cameron Foster, women's and men's bowling coach at William Penn. And then finally in the bottom middle is Simon Brown, men's soccer coach at William Penn. So, and once again, Sam Parsons in the bottom right. So, all right, Sam, like I said, we might be missing a couple coaches. We'll see if they join, but we've got an awesome crew here right now. Is there anybody you'd like to talk to first?
Well, first of all, thanks for everybody's time. Is there anybody who needs to leave soon like there was last time? I figure I should probably ask that first, so I would know if I gotta get anybody out of the way and get them on their way. I guess not. So I'll start with Lauren, because you guys have been I guess most recently in action. Big performance, it seems, at the Grandview tournament over the weekend. Why don't you just tell us how that went and what you were seeing from your team?
Yeah, we played at Grandview on Saturday against William Woods, and then Xavier out of Louisiana, who was receiving votes. We came in and started off strong and finished strong. It was probably one of our best days of volleyball all season. Competed really well against William Woods, served them off the court, and then playing Xavier, and we didn't really give them a chance to take the lead ever. And we really showed up. All of our players, offense and defense, showed up on Saturday.
It's, now with 3 wins in a row, kind of dating back to that Mount Mercy game, are you seeing a lot of growth right now out of your team, or just how do you feel about where your team is right now, given that it's about 2 weeks away from the start of the playoffs?
Yeah, we have talked about consistency a lot. So kind of like the first half of the season, we we're just a little inconsistent. We had a lot of highs, but we had a lot of lows too. So we talked about being like the high to the medium. So we've really, I think, found our consistency in our offense and our defense and our tempo. So I think since probably the last week or two, we found our consistency of playing really, really good volleyball from point 1 to point 25, not just here or there. So I think it started with Mount Mercy and hoping to finish that off with the next 6 games of conference.
And if I can bring Macy in here for a second, because you were also involved in that, Macy, of course, being one of the seniors on this team and one of the leaders. A win over a team like Xavier is obviously a big deal because they're good. But what'd you see about just how do you feel about the way that not only you but also the team in general responded to facing a team like that?
I think that we responded really well. At first, I think we were just kind of shocked because they were like a super quiet, dead team. And I think overall, we just really came together and figured out how to win. And we really just adjusted to what they were doing.
And I asked this to Corinne a couple weeks ago, but I want to ask this to you as well. Just how do you feel about just kind of the vibe that the team has right now, not only like in practice in the locker room, but just in general? How do you feel about the kind of cohesion that you guys have?
I feel like the last few weeks have been really good. We've really came together, and I think most of the team, we're actually friends. And so we all hang out outside of practice and weights and everything. And I think that really helps us when the going gets tough.
Awesome. That was all I had prepared for them. Wait, I don't know if I'm going out of order or if there is supposed to be a good order to this.
Nope, no order at all. We're just we just roll.
Okay. Did you have any questions for the volleyball people?
I actually do. Sam, you're not on campus today, obviously, so you're not seeing everything. You haven't seen all the posters around, but tonight is Pack the Pack night. So it's a big match against Culver Stockton. There's a lot of emotion going on with this one. So I'm going to ask both Lauren and Macy to talk about that a little bit. I know last time, a few weeks back, going down to Missouri didn't turn out our way. This one, not to put any undue pressure on anybody, but this is a big one. I mean, they're leading the North, and there's payback to be had, I guess. So Lauren, I'll let you go first. Talk about tonight's matchup and how big of a crowd you want? I know that's, like I said, it's pack to pack, and we're looking to break attendance records. So
I mean, we're all pretty excited for tonight's game. We have the next 2 weeks all at home, so kind of finishes out our conference season. We know this is big just because if we win this game, it goes to be the top of the North, and that's something we need going forward. And does have a little emotion behind it. I think from our loss against them when we traveled down to Culver was not something we all wanted. I think it's kind of in the back of our minds that we don't want to feel that way again. And we know we kind of just let emotions get to us because we have a lot of weapons offensive and defensively. So we know we're the better team, but we just have to put our best foot forward and not let the noise from the outside really get to us.
how excited are you to have, I'm going to switch us over to Macy then. Macy, talk a little bit about this match, and especially that there should be a really huge crowd. I know you guys are trying to give away cookies this morning as I'm walking into the pack. They're like, any way to entice your peers to come out and cheer you guys on tonight. So I took a cookie, but I'm going to be there anyhow, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think when we went there, they just have such a big crowd, and I don't know if we were really mentally prepared to hear them screaming at us the way that our fans scream at other people.
Right.
And so I think it's going to be really fun because, like Coach Lauren said, we've really become way more consistent since the last time we saw them. And so hopefully we can just all come together and mentally prepare ourselves for tonight. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a big one. And like you said, moving forward here the last 2 weeks at home. Macy, final question for you. It's obviously going to be bittersweet, but excited about the last 2 weeks, especially being at almost, I know Coach said all of them are at home. I'm not sure if they all are. She's probably right more than I am, but how excited are you to just finish up your career at home, with so many matches?
It's really sad, but I'm really glad that all of our next games are at home but second round probably won't be at home, but I'm really excited, and I'm glad that everybody's going to get to come to all the games here at home. So
cool. Coach, you were right. Sorry. They're all at home.
Macy does have a COVID year she could use, but we'll see.
Yeah. No pressure or anything. Okay.
yeah, we'll have to see.
There you go. All right. Not that you guys can leave, obviously. Obviously, we'd love to have you stay on, but thank you, women's volleyball. We're going to move forward here. Everybody else has been waiting patiently. I'm going to jump on actually with the bowling teams that started up their season over the weekend at the Mid-States Championship down in Wichita, Kansas. And Kirsten, I know the husband is there around somewhere, probably working with the kids, but just talk about you guys first off, and then I'll let you guys probably switch off. But you guys had an awesome turnout, 8th place overall, and then you got into match play and knocked off the #1 seed before ending there in the semifinals. But a great way to start. So let's talk about the Mid-States.
Yeah, so Mid-States, it was our first time attending this tournament in program history. So we didn't really go in with many expectations. The field there was a little bit tougher than where we normally go. So it was a slow start. They didn't give us the pattern that we were bowling on. They just gave us some particulars. So still a guessing game. Initial guess was wrong. So but the girls worked through it. After Saturday, we kind of came together as a team. We talked about it, things we needed to work on, and how we were going to attack it a little bit differently Sunday. And it worked out in our favor. I mean, the girls were 3rd high out of all the Baker sets, which was pretty good, especially knowing all the teams that were there. I mean, all of our conference teams were there with the exception of one. So it was definitely a good confidence booster for us. And it was nice. I mean, we were waiting to see if we were the 8th place team going into the last set. I think there was us, Baker, and Culver Stockton. We were all within 30 pins of each other. So it was a waiting game. We got done with our set first. So Bailey and I were kind of walking across the center looking to see what Baker and Culver were doing. But it was good. Once again, they really like being 8th place. There's not, especially going into match play, there's no expectations. It's
Right.
like if you win, awesome. If you don't, well, that's okay. You're the 8th seed anyways.
Yeah.
So they really like having that kind of mentality. And they took down Wichita 3-0. Didn't miss. I mean, all of our opens were splits, and there was, I think, maybe 3 out of all 3 games. So that was actually really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they stepped up to the plate and they did awesome.
Awesome. Sam, questions for Coach Kirsten Foster?
Well, yeah, thank you for the recap of the mid-states, but now just kind of looking ahead to what's next. Guys going back to Kansas, but different spot in the state. But what do you know about the competition that's going to be at the Jayhawk Challenge? And I know you said you didn't really have a lot of expectations going into mid-states, but do you have any expectations going into the next one?
Yeah, so Jayhawk, we're expected to see a lot of the same teams just because vicinity-wise, it's so close. And a couple other teams. I think Midland, we're expected to see them there. So that would be a good matchup. Expectations, we're going to work on some of our spare shooting. It was a little rough day one. So we're going to tighten that up a little bit more. Expectations, I would love to see us make match play again. It's always a different atmosphere. It's more fun, to be honest with you. Yeah, and just kind of see what we can go from there with the whole match play thing. Our teams have a really good track record at Jayhawk. So would like to keep that track record going. We like to make the championship match at that tournament. So
Awesome, thank you.
Kirsten, talk. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sam.
No, I was just saying thank you. It's all good.
Kirsten, talk about Olivia Pilcher, freshman coming out and leading the team on Saturday. I know Saturday was not your best day of the two, but freshman coming in and rolling as well as she did has to give you high hopes for her, in addition to all the other returners that have done so well. And you know that they'll pick it up. They just obviously had a little bit of a rough first day, but
yeah, Olivia Pilcher was, for lack of a better word, a big surprise for us. She came in, doesn't have a whole lot of sport shot experience. She bowled for Ottumwa High School, but all of their competitions are on house shots.
Yep.
So easier patterns, I should say. So making that transition to bowling on more difficult patterns, she did awesome. I mean, she was playing in parts of the lane that she's normally not comfortable playing, but she didn't bat an eye. She didn't argue with us. She was like, yep, we're just going to do it. And she did the best she could. She was making most of her spares, was probably one of the best spare shooters of the whole weekend. And she just made it look so seamlessly, like she was so little effort. She just kind of did and went with it, and it was awesome. It was really awesome to see. Her dad surprised her. Her dad came to the tournament to watch, and so I think she was a little excited about that. So it was really awesome to see her perform well. I'm excited to see how she does for future tournaments. And then the rest of the team, there was we had some, there's first tournament of the season. I think we had some that, we had a couple of girls that moved up from JV to varsity. And I think we're just trying to get some of those jitters out of the system, get used to the new atmosphere. But I think I expect Jayhawk will be a quicker start for us. Other girls will pick up where they left off last year. So Gabby, I know the score wise didn't really reflect what she normally does, but spare shooting, I think she was actually our top spare shooter for the weekend. She just couldn't strike.
Yeah.
She turned that around day two. So day two, she ended up being anchor all day.
Right.
But yeah, I think everyone else just it was truly a team effort. Everyone got in at some point or another, and everyone contributed. So it was really good to see it.
Yeah. Awesome. Sam, anything else for Kirsten?
That's all I got.
Okay. We're going to jump forward to men's cross country. I think, Simon, I believe you're driving in, so you're not really going anywhere, right? Let him answer that first.
Yeah, I got another 20 minutes before I get to campus. So
all right. So we're just going to let you hang on for a little bit longer.
Appreciate that, Wade.
Right. Well, I want to help out the student athletes here. So we got Jonah Heckenberg and Elizabeth Healy were able to join us after we started both of the cross country teams. So guys stepping up and in the absence of Coach Drake. So appreciate you guys coming on for a few minutes. Liz, I'm going to go with you first. Sorry, Jonah, got to get the ladies in first here. So
that's all right.
All right. First year doing cross country. I don't remember if I've ever asked you this before. I should have, but cross country in high school, or is this actually your first cross country experience?
This is my first.
Turn your volume up a little bit louder.
Can you hear me?
Had you?
No. No. Can you hear me or no?
Very, very lightly.
Oh, okay. Should I just talk really loud?
Talk really loud, yeah. Yell and then wake everybody up next door.
Okay. Yeah, this is my very first. I did not race cross country in high school.
So talk about being in cross country for the first year, and that you've had a lot of success, leading the team in two of our first three meets. So it seems like it's something that maybe you should have been doing the whole time, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. It's a lot more mileage than I've ever done, but I think my body's responding pretty well to it. And I don't know, it's a different environment, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. What have you noticed to be the biggest difference outside of obviously just the mileage, but what have you liked and not liked about switching over for this fall?
Ooh, I really like race days. Race days are nice and fun. It's obviously pretty different from track with, usually having multiple races versus just one, but
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, same teammates. You're still with
Yeah.
Kamek and Delana, et cetera. I mean, it's same people you're working with now. You're just working in a different respect.
Yeah.
All right. I'll come back to you in a second. Jonah, you are a seasoned cross country runner. You guys have started out really strong, including this last race. You guys came up with, I think, the top almost everybody, including men's and women's side. You guys all had a lot of PRs. Just talk about the mentality of the team right now, going into the home stretch here of the season.
Yeah, everybody had a great last race. I think everybody PR'd by a crazy amount of time. I mean, it was a good race, but it was a good day for it. I think just everybody's headspace right now, having that confidence booster of a race with conference in 3 weeks was really good for everybody mentally to see where they're at in the season and to push this final month, I guess, these final 3 weeks of the season going up until conference.
You guys getting closer to tapering off now on distance, or does that come kind of after this last meet this Saturday?
Yeah, I think next week we'll kind of start tapering off. We kind of cut back our long run a mile or two yesterday, and then next week we'll really start to taper off. And that week of conference we'll drop the floor out for that. So
exciting times then. Now you're not having to run the
yeah,
15
a lot
miles and
less
all that.
running, but
Yeah, well, the goal is
right,
in
yeah,
sight,
a
right?
lot more intensity work, but
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, almost
Sam.
there.
Yep. Sam, questions for Mr. Heckenberg or Miss Healy?
I'll start with Jonah here, just because since you've been around, I'm wondering if you've ever raced at South Dakota, where you're going next for the Mount Marty Invitational, and if you have, whether you have or not, what do you know about the track that you're going to be running there?
Yeah, I've never raced there. And our coach has been out there. He's told us a little about the race and just what he knows about it, and that it could be windy up there and it could be a mess and it could be a nice day. So we'll just see when we get up there Saturday.
Okay, sounds good. And Liz, the question that I had for you is just, coming from track and moving to cross country, what has that adjustment been like as far as just going from one completely different sport to the other, going from having a set routine that you do to now dealing with different terrains and all that stuff, everything that comes with that. What's that adjustment been like for you?
I don't think it's been too rough, but honestly, I think cross country is much more of a mental game for me because you have to it's just so much more mileage, honestly, and the races are so much longer. But I don't know. I have a really good team out there and they really help me get through that. So, it's been good.
Okay, thanks. That's all I had, Wade.
One final question for Liz. How are you staying out of the holes? Because obviously tracks should not have holes and all of those little pitfalls out there. So you got to pay attention to where your feet drop on the cross country course. So been doing a good job of that.
I've been trying my best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't miss them all, but there's
No,
a
of
lot
course
of
not. There you go. All right. Might come back to you guys in a minute here. Since Simon is still waiting patiently, I appreciate that. To see if we have Cameron Foster back on, if we can get, there is Coach Foster. Cam, hey, let's talk about the mid states for the men. You guys finished 13th out of 31st. very, very, very new team. A lot of returners, but just not guys that were spend a lot of varsity time in the past. So recap the mid-states for you guys.
Honestly, so yeah, this weekend was, it was a good experience for all the guys that didn't get to experience that last year. I had some new guys that actually surprised and stepped up. Garrity, he showed a lot of basically what he's been working on the last year and a half on himself getting better. And then Jared stepped up big. He was our best performer. He was on varsity last year, maybe didn't get the opportunities as much, but this year he basically proved that he deserves that varsity spot. And I think overall, I was happy to see how the guys performed. I mean, I know 13th out of 31 doesn't sound the greatest, but for a new look team, I'm actually not too upset about it. We've definitely found some things we need to work on to get better, to make sure we're ready for going into the end of the season. But as the season goes on, I foresee us just getting better and better and learning more from each other.
Yeah. Sam, go ahead.
Well, yeah, the only question that I had was kind of, you kind of alluded to it with your last point there. Just how do you feel about the way that the team has, the way that the team is also kind of being cohesive so far, with it being such a new look for you guys?
Yeah, so far, they're showing that they're going to be a great team. I think there might be some bouncing around between some other JV guys coming up to varsity. Just so there's some other guys during our trial portion of the year that showed that they might get that spot. But I think overall, all the group of guys that I got coming in, I think we got a lot of potential that could help us figure what we need to do by February.
Okay, thank you.
Cam, talk about who stepped up in regards to leadership. Obviously, that's something that you probably didn't want to mention a lot, that you were worried about. But I mean, to be honest, again, you don't have a lot of guys that were in that position last year. I mean, Jake was there, and Jared there more in the background, but guys that maybe stepped up that you were really impressed with on Saturday and Sunday that helped you guys get along and maybe get through a few tough spots.
Jake definitely stepped up in that leadership role. I mean, last year, I think it was definitely Alexander Kostrick was definitely my leader on the lanes. Jake had no problem filling those shoes. When the guys when we had some bad games, he pulled them off to the side and had a good talk with them, and they were always able to bounce back and help keep their heads up. So Jake has definitely had no problem stepping up in that role.
Real quick, I think the only newcomer that you had in the lineup was Connor, if that's correct. Maybe I'm missing somebody, but talk about Connor's collegiate debut.
It was impressive. I mean, he didn't disappoint. I had a lot of expectations, I won't lie, just because of what he was bringing already. He bowls for his international team out of Ireland, so he was already bringing us a lot of experience. So I was hoping that he was able to bring that to the college world, and he didn't disappoint.
Yeah, I mean, leading the team and in average, he obviously didn't bowl all the games. He bowled 5 out of 6, but yeah, it led you in average. And can't speak to what he did in Baker because we don't see the individual scores on Baker, but looks like, yeah, he came out of the gate pretty strong. So it's got to be enthused about that. If you can talk about the Jayhawk a little bit. We've had some success there in the past. So what are you guys expecting of the Jayhawk next week? Not this weekend, but the weekend after.
Honestly, I think the Jayhawk, just again, building off of what we just did, I think we could make a run at making that top 8 for match play. I mean, the guys showed a lot of fight and a lot of grit. I think if we just be able to clean up some spares, I have no reason to think that we couldn't be in that top 8 to make that match play and even make a run at winning the thing.
Sure. All right, Sam, any final questions for Cam?
That's all I got for now. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for Jonah or Liz as well? Anything that popped up?
Nothing that's come up in the last few minutes. Just thank them for their time.
Okay, I'm going to let you guys all go. I was thinking I had something, but I don't. So, all right. Thanks, Jonah. Thanks, Liz. Cam, you can get off too if you want as well. So thanks. All right, Mr. Simon Brown, we have kept you waiting, so I appreciate you being so patient.
Thank you.
While you're driving. But all right, let's talk about the men's soccer program. 1-1 tie in the final non-conference game of the year. I know not exactly what you were hoping for there, but hopefully the team and you guys learned a little bit from it as we go into the final 4 games of the year.
Yeah, it's always funny trying to explain ties to Americans. So that's some of the questions that came up, and but yeah, I had the feeling of a non-conference game in the middle of the season where everyone was just cagey to not get people hurt. With Briarcliff had 3 games left, we only had 4 games left. We both had a couple of suspensions. So again, not trying to really risk too much going into the conference game, because ultimately that's the most important thing. So like I said, I had the feel of a game that didn't have an amazing importance to both programs, and that's kind of ultimately how I ended up. And we went 1-0 up, and we had the chances to win the game again, and probably just disappointed to concede so late the way that we did. Which ultimately defined the result with 1-1, and we have no more overtime, so the game just ends at a tie now after 90 minutes. So yeah.
Sam, questions for Coach Brown?
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at the matchups they have this week, starting with Culver Stockton. I know that they were a team that you beat last year. What's the word on their team this year, and just how do you think your team matches up with them?
Yeah, always a tough place to go. It's surprisingly one of the toughest places to go in the conference. But they have to win if they want to make the playoffs. So if they don't have a positive result, just looking at the stats and the numbers and stuff like that, I think that they could for a win, and we just have to go in with that mentality that in the conference to host the playoff game. So must win for us, must win for them. And I think that's going to be the mentality going forward. They're a good team. They're scrappy. They have a new coach that came from Colombia that has been a top 5 team for the last, I don't know.
You must be going through lighting because you're cutting out.
Well, yeah, they're going to be. Yeah, I had great service about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, of course. Well, I'll see if we can get a couple more minutes out of you here. Yeah, Coach, as you just mentioned, you guys are in a very dicey predicament right here, sitting right here looking at it. You're in 8th, top 8 obviously go to the conference tournament, but there are wins to be had. You've got 2 teams behind you for sure. So obviously a Culver Stockton win, a Park win this week are really important. You can catch Mount Mercy, and then you end up the year with Central Methodist. But talk about going out strong. I don't really know if that's probably not the way I want to say it, but how much pressure without putting pressure on the guys. Are you saying right now, like, hey guys, we got to really buckle down, we got to make these last 4 games count?
Yeah, I mean, we're just in an uncomfortable position because the last 2 years by this stretch we were safe. We were like, okay, we're 4th or 5th no matter what happens. So it's just a little bit uncomfortable for us, which is it's a good thing because it's not always easy. Looking at the games ahead, obviously you can't write anybody off, and 3 of the 4 games we have are on the road. So again, it's a little bit uncomfortable, but it is what it is. We're actually in 7th place. The way that you guys do win percentage isn't the same as what we do, because we do points.
Right. Yeah. Points. Right. And you have
so we're in
over
7th.
Mount Mercy. Sure. Yep.
Yeah. So we're in 7th. So we played 3 teams that are behind us.
Right.
Which doesn't mean a lot, but it means a little to give us some perspective. And then last game of the season, so we just don't want to be going into the last game of the season away to CMU.
Yeah.
With us desperate for a win, because that's just a big ask, and then we can put ourselves in a position to be going into that game where we just have a bit of house money, where anything that we get out of that game can spur us on to guaranteeing a home playoff game. So that's kind of the message going forward, the mentality. But we just need to look after ourselves and look after this Culver Stockton game on Wednesday, and then senior night at home on Saturday for the Park game. So that's the next two big things for us, is these next 2 this week to get through that, and then figure out where we're at, because it'll give us a good idea of where everybody else is at going into the last couple of games and what we need and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. Obviously we're looking at, 4 games and the situation that we're in as a negative that, gosh, I really wish we were in first, but could it possibly be a good thing that you're looking at all of these games as kind of being playoff games, win or die, and that, kind of puts you in a different mindset that might be good for the guys going into, assuming that you make postseason play and you're already kind of prepped that way, and being that you have to put so much effort into winning, maybe that's a good thing. You're not going in a little lazy, so to speak.
Yeah, no, I agree, and this group, as these seniors have, we had a lot of junior college kids in 2020, so this is their third year of going through this conference tournament and understanding how tough it is. So they know all the away games, they know how tough every opponent is, and they also know the pressures that it comes with winning. Because one more win, we win on Wednesday, we're up in 4th, 5th place, and then you look at everything just a little bit differently.
Right.
It's just that the other teams around us, they all have to play each other also, so everybody from 4th to 8th, I think there's 2-3 games where everyone has to play each other. So we know that things will even out as the season goes on. I know it's like I said, we're just talking about focusing on ourselves and stuff like that, but we just have to win those games that we have to win. And I think that if we win on Wednesday, you look at everything just from a different perspective, as opposed to being 500 in conference and where does that put you. But generally speaking, usually if you in this conference, if you get to 6 wins, usually you finish at minimum 6th.
Sure.
Just the way the statistics have worked out. So we win this game, and then we just need one more win to we're 6th, and then anything after that, like I said, that pushes us into 4th, 5th range, and gives us a great chance to host a playoff game, which, like I said, that's the ultimate goal, if you can host a playoff game. And like I said on previous interviews, it's tough to win this conference. It's even tougher to win away. So again, if we're hosting a playoff game, we just give ourselves a fantastic opportunity to really galvanize the team going into the postseason.
For sure. Sam, go ahead if you have a question.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask because Saturday is senior night for you guys, and I know you have a pretty senior heavy team right now, and I was just wondering if you could talk about just what this group of seniors has meant for your program and what they've brought for the team, not just this year but in years past.
Yeah, so we have we're actually running the numbers now, because it just gets so strange with COVID seniors and who wants to stay, who doesn't want to stay. So we have 5 COVID seniors that no matter what they're done, and we have another group that could be done and they're just trying to figure out, do I walk on Saturday but then maybe change my mind and add a minor, stuff like that. So the 5 COVID seniors that are definitely done, they came in 2020, so they came to us. We recruited them in strange times. It was odd for them to go to somewhere. They didn't know what the eligibility was going to look like. They thought that last year was going to be their last year. They had to play a national tournament game and postseason games in the spring, their first year. So everything's just been weird for them, but they've been able to adapt really well, not just the soccer aspects, but just to college life in general, to life in general. And they've really spurred our program on. Like I said, gave us the first win of a national tournament in program history. And just kept that streak of 3 national tournament appearances in a row, and you can see us trending up and up and up. And this year we're not a million miles off. It's just we're just missing that little bit of a killer instinct that gets us the big wins against the big teams, and that's the difference between being mid-table in this conference and being top 10, is knocking off one of those big guys. And those guys are there. They know how to play in the big games, and Saturday will be no different, because now that their senior night is going to be a game with a lot of importance, which is massive. So hopefully that they have some family coming into town, some friends, so that they can enjoy these guys for hopefully what's not their last home game, if we get a playoff berth and we can host it. But yeah, these guys have been class for the last 2-3 years, and like I said, they've came through some perilous times and really supported the program and came back for extra years and stuff like that. So that's amazing for the team.
All right, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks, Sam.
Anything final here for Sam, or from you, Sam, to Coach?
That is all I've got for now.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Simon. Sorry to keep you
Appreciate it
in there and everything.
No, you're good, man.
All right. Have a great one. Okay, thank you, Sam, and Coach Brown as he's getting off. So appreciate everybody. We will be back with you guys in a couple weeks for the next press conference. I guess we'll see if it happens on Monday or Tuesday, but either way, we'll have it recorded. Right now, I guess we're looking at Monday the 31st. We'll have a little Halloween edition, see if everybody can dress up in some wacky costumes or something. So, all right, Statesman Nation, thanks so much, and we will catch you next time. Go Statesman.
Thanks, Wade.
Thanks.